Hello everyone out there and welcome back to my channel. Today is June the 17th, 2022. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Can you believe that we are almost out of June already? This is the 6th month. We're in the 6th month. And so today my message is going to be about time because time is going by so very fast. And so today the title of my message is Redeeming the Time. Redeeming the time. And so what does that mean? Redeeming the time means to buy back, or it means to buy up. It means to make good use of the time that God has given us. Because see, first of all, God is the creator and author of time. That means our time started with him and our time is going to end with him. Because see, I'm talking about us. See, because God knew the day that you were going to be born into the earth, and he also knows the day of your death when you're going to leave this earth. And so that means we only have a set amount of time to be here. And I was reading somewhere where they said that our life is like a clock. Our life is like a clock, and we do a lot of things according to the clock. For us, we get up according to the clock. When we going to work, we take our break according to the clock. But we have to realize that time is ticking. Time is getting away from us, and it's getting away from us quickly. So we have to realize that we only going to be here for a short period of time, and so we have no time to waste. No time to waste. And so I want to go to Psalms. Before I go to Psalms, I want to say that our life here is short compared to what comes in eternity, because eternity is after this life. And so I want to go to Psalms, and I want to read 103. I want to read the 15th and the 16th verse. And for anyone that is new to this channel, I read out of the King James Version. And it says, as for a man, his days are as grass. As a flower of the field, so he flourish. For the wind passeth over it, and it is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. And then I want to go to 1 Peter, because 1 Peter, the scripture is similar. I want to go to 1 Peter 1 and 24. And it says, for all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withered, and the flower thereof falleth away. And so basically what these scriptures are saying is that man is temporary. We temporary, whether we want to believe it or not. Because a lot of times we get so caught up in the here and now, and just get caught up in our life, consumed with our life. And I'm not saying we get so busy, because a lot of people, we so busy, which I done talked about before. We be so busy, but are we busy doing what God called us to do for us when it comes to the work of God? Because that's what's important. Because once this life is over, we all are going to give account of what we have done while we're here. And so I want to go to 2 Corinthians. I want to read 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. It's important what we do. What are we doing right now? It's important. 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. A lot of people might not think it's important, but it's important what we do. What are we doing right now? What are we doing for Christ? And it says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. Whether it be good or bad. Now, I also want to go to Ephesians. I want to go to the 5th chapter, and I want to read the 14th through the 17th verse. So, people, what we do for Christ is important. What are we doing for God, It's got to be a priority. And so that 5th chapter, that 14th through the 17th verse, it says, wherefore he says, awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. Because a lot of people, they woke, but they sleep at the same time because they not aware of the time. They not paying attention to what's going on. Just look around. We need to be woke at all times. And I mean spiritually woke. That 15th verse says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. What the will of the Lord is. And see, anybody that is called a Christian, that is named by the name of Christ, if you belong to God, then God expects us to do a work for him. And it's not, work is not for salvation. You can't work yourself into salvation. But God has called all of us to do a work for him, because we are his representatives in the earth. Because God is a spirit. That means he does not have a body. But his spirit lives in all his children. And so his spirit works through us. It's working in us. And so God has called us to build his kingdom while we are here. And so it's very important, because we can get caught up in other things, like I say, busy with other things that don't really matter. We are called to build his kingdom because we are his feet, we are his eyes, we his ears, and his hands. So when we are doing things to honor God, we are building his kingdom for us when it comes to people. For us, like, just say things like, you visit the sick, visiting the sick. You might take your neighbor to the doctor. You looking out for people. You giving them money. People in need, you might give them money. You witnessing to the lost. These are all works of Christ. And these are all the things that we should be doing. And there's so many more different things God has called us to do. Missionary work. All kind of things that he has called his people to do. And this got to be more important than anything else in your life. Anything else. Because in Luke 14:26, it talks about that if you don't hate your father and mother, your wife and children, your sister and brethren, and even your own life, you cannot be my disciple. So God's work has to take precedence over anything. And I'm not saying that you should hate, because when he says hate, what he's saying is that you can't make them first over him. Even though he gives us families and everything, he expects you to take care of your family and do what you need to do for your family. But he wants to be first priority over anything. Because sometimes, if your family might want you to spend time with them, but if God is calling you to something, something that for us he might have you witnessing to somebody that perhaps might be finna lose their life. I just give an example, and he might tell you need to go right now to that place. Then he expects you to do what he tells you to do, not to put it off and wait to a better time, because it could be a matter of life or death for that person that he's sending you to. And so also, we have to realize that what we do for Christ is going to last, not none of these other things that we are caught up in. Only what you do for Christ is going to last. And so I want to go to St. John. I want to read St. John 9, and 45. The 9th chapter, the 4th and the 5th verse. And so it says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. And so what Jesus is saying, well, I'm just going to read that fourth verse. Well, I'll read the 5th verse as well. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And basically what Jesus is saying is that he must do the work of God while he has the time, because he had a set time to be here. And he says when night come, because basically Jesus was going to be crucified. That means he was going to die out of that human body, and he was going to go back to God. And so death for you, night for you could mean death also. Because when it was day, when you was healthy and strong, it also can mean, what I'm trying to say is, a lot of times when we healthy and strong, that's when we need to be doing what we need to do for God, because it can come a time when you're not mentally or physically able to do what God has called you to do, and then it's night for you, because now it's too late. And as I said, when you die, it's too late. So whatever God is telling you to do, do it now. Do it now, because we think we have all the time in the world, and tomorrow is not promised to you at all. Like I said, we don't get a reality check until somebody dies that's close to us, for as a relative or a friend. It just shakes us to reality that this could be me next, that I could be next, and that you might have thought they were going to be here a long time, because you see a lot of young people dying, but now they are gone because God has gave them a set time to be here. And so we have to be aware of that at all times. I also heard somebody say we have to live like we dying, because basically we are, little by little. And so also, I want to go to Matthew, the 25th chapter. This might seem like a sobering message, but it's always to build us up, to make us stronger, to draw us closer to God. This message is not just for you, but it's also for me also. Also, like I say, we have to stay woke. We have to stay woke. This is no time to be sleeping. Matthew, the 25th chapter. I want to read the 32nd through the 45th verse. And it says, and this is talking about the story of the when Jesus was talking about the separation of the sheep and goats, because that means sheep and goats appear to be, sometimes they look just alike. And so what it's representing is the saved and unsaved, because a lot of people are saying that they Christians, but they really don't belong to God. And a lot of times we can't tell it from looking at a person per se on the outside, but see, God knows the heart. He knows what's inside of people. And so it's going to come a time when God is going to make a separation. And so it says in that 32nd verse, it says, before him shall be gathered all the nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a sheep divided his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was a hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came unto me. These are all the works that we should be doing right now. Everybody is not doing the same thing either. We all are called to do different things. That 37 verse says, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came into thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, you have done it unto me. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was a hungered, and you gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. Because see, the word says that we should know people not by what they say, but what they do. By their fruits, you should know them. So people can say a whole lot of things, but what are you doing? What are you showing that what are you showing that you are a child of God? What are you doing? What are you showing people for us this world? The lost. Because people going to know you by your works. You gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you took me not in. Naked, and you clothed me not. Sick in prison, and ye visit me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee in hunger, or a thirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, you did it not to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. So it's important what we do for Christ. Now, it's important. And see, sometimes people are waiting. They waiting for this big thing, for God to show them this big thing to do. They want something significant, something that people will notice. They want to be known for what they do. But God is noticing the little things that we do that people might not see, like cleaning the restrooms at the church, doing those insignificant things. You know what I'm saying? Helping people, like I said, witnessing to people, doing little things like that. These things is what lead to the big things. I'm telling you, for 11 years, I was ministering in the mall. Nobody seen me. It was just me and God. I was fine with that too. I could have kept right on just witnessing in the background to people, because it's such an awesome thing to see God move on people. Didn't nobody know. It was just me and Jesus. It was just me and Jesus. See, those things is what God sees. And I wasn't even doing it to be seen. I was doing it because I really love to tell people about Jesus. How can you not tell people about him? Because he's so wonderful. A lot of people don't know who he is because they just listen to people. Like I said, a lot of people, they claiming to be his, but in their actions, in their behaviors, they are not like Christ. See, you have to be for real. Because see, people, the unsaved, they know when you fake. You have to be genuine. And so I just pray for all of us, that God he help us each day to be more like him and less like, the things that we are in this flesh. Because people need to see what a real saint is. Not just talking all the time. And so I want to read Ecclesiastes. I have 3 more scriptures and I'm through. Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter and the 10th verse. And it says, whatsoever. Because people looking for a special job. But God is saying, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave. Whether thou goest, because eventually you going to the grave. So whatever you can do to be a help, to be a light in this world, do it now. Colossians 3:23, it says, whatever you do, do it heartily unto God and not to men. And then I want to sum it up with Ecclesiastes 12:13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for that is the whole duty of man. Amen. Bye-bye for now. Have a blessed and prosperous day.